You're about to learn more in the next 12 minutes than 99% of closers learn in 12 months. I'm gonna break down every concept you need to close high ticket deals and hit 10 to 20K per month. The sales industry has one big problem. They take all the simple information, overcomplicate it, and water it down just so they could sell you courses, scripts, and frameworks, all of which is designed just to have you feeling like you need them. And the most powerful sales concepts are actually way simpler than they want you to believe. Now, you may be thinking, great, another guru who's gonna show me his special sales method. Wrong. I'm gonna do the opposite and show you why you don't need any of that stuff. Name's Pranav. I've done consistent 30 to 50K per month in high ticket sales in strictly commissions, not course sales. Alongside Vincent Fischer, we went from $0 to $700,000 per month with just the high ticket sales team, where I was the #1 closer 15 out of 18 months closing. We're covering 7 of the most powerful concepts. Each one, I'm gonna show you what they teach, why it's overcomplicated, and what actually matters. Concept number 1 is gonna be tonality. What they teach you about tonality, practicing curiosity tone or challenging tone or whatever else. And this stuff, it works. I've practiced the tonalities, but the reason this stuff doesn't work by itself is when you're on a sales call trying to do a tonality or a technique, you sound like you're putting up a performance rather than being present with the prospect and being genuine with them. If you were talking to your best friend and their mother passed away, you wouldn't need to do a tonality. Naturally, your body language would change, your tonality would drop because you actually care about your best friend. And it needs to be the exact same thing when you're on a sales call with a prospect, because anything else is not genuine. So step number 1 to learning tonality is actually giving a shit. Now, let's break down how to do tonality the right way so you don't sound like you're doing a performance and the prospect can actually feel the right emotions that they're meant to feel at each part of the sales call. On a Zoom call, there's 2 things. You have your verbal communication, which is what you say and how you say it. And the second thing is gonna be your nonverbal communication. This is gonna be what the prospect sees from the camera on the Zoom call. If your verbal and your nonverbal communication don't match, you're gonna come off as fake and disgenuine. How you say a question is gonna determine how the prospect internalizes it. When you're digging a little bit deeper into their pain points and what they're struggling with, drop your tone. This is gonna allow them to feel that a lot more. Also, don't be afraid to use silence. The most powerful thing you could do is let them sit in the pain for a moment or 2 before you jump into the next line. On the flip side, when they're talking about their goals, their dreams, their aspirations, whatever else, you wanna be a lot more eager to talk about it. This will allow you to build the gap more from where they are to where they wanna be. Once that gap is great enough, they're not gonna say no. And once the prospect actually internalizes they're not happy with where they are and they're tired of being stuck there, you're not gonna get 5 smokescreen objections at the end of the call. You may just get logistical or a little bit of fear, which we can easily handle. Concept number 2 is gonna be the discovery, and this is the most important part of the sales call. The biggest problem with what they teach is they want you to go through a list of questions, stick to the script, and go through it in a specific order when humans just don't operate that way. Sometimes it's better to spend a few minutes talking about their goals and then smoothly transition into the pain points rather than just pressing and asking questions, trying to pull pain when you haven't even had an opportunity to do so. The reason the normal approach doesn't work, it sounds like you're going through a checklist and it sounds like you're trying to draw pain, and it makes the conversation less human. The only thing that matters in the discovery is you need to figure out, can I actually help this person? To be able to help someone out, you need to understand 3 things. Where are they currently at? Quantifiable metrics, as well as the emotions that they feel from being in their current situation. For example, if you're selling a BizOps offer, which is a business opportunity where you teach someone how to make money, you need to figure out where they're currently at, what they do to make money, how much money are they currently making per month, how much do they save. This way you can differentiate from where they're at to where they want to be and how much they're going to need to be there, so we can clearly create that gap again. And number 3, and this is the most important one, is how they feel about where they're actually at. If you can figure this out and get the real emotion behind the prospect, that's a perfect discovery. Now let's talk about a concept that I see a lot of people messing up, and it's authority on a sales call. What they teach you to do is be overly authoritative off rip. Let the prospect know this is how the call is gonna go. I'm gonna ask the questions and you have to answer. Why this stuff is overcomplicated and it doesn't work is, number 1, nobody cares about your results, your story, or the testimonials until they trust that you understand their situation and you actually wanna help them out. Secondly, you're never gonna pressure someone to spend $10,000 or $20,000 with you on a call. You need to understand how you can get this prospect to sell themselves. This is actually how you build authority, and it's the opposite of what you'd expect. The top 1% of closers build authority subtly. And the way that you do this is, obviously you still set the agenda, but you want to let them know that you're detached. It doesn't change your life whether they move forward with this or not. And you genuinely want to help out the prospect. So here's a few ways that we can build authority. Number 1 is going to be by asking smart and direct questions. People automatically assume you're someone important if you can ask them good questions. Number 2 is going to be by the way that you speak. You need to be able to look at the camera, make eye contact, speak with conviction behind your words. Don't stutter. And if you do stutter, it needs to be on purpose, just to keep it more human. Third way to build authority is show them that you understand their situation, their problems, and their goals better than they currently do. This automatically puts you in a position of authority because they can see that you've been where they currently are, you've overcome the problems they're looking to overcome, and you've reached the goals that they wanted to reach. Concept number 4, which is future pacing. What they teach you to do is say something along the lines of, imagine yourself making 10K per month. What would that feel like? The reason it doesn't work is because it's very surface level and it doesn't force the prospect to paint the picture in their own head. The second reason it doesn't work is when you ask these type of questions, it's your dream in their head rather than them painting the picture in their own head and reliving it. This is where the prospect is gonna start reliving how his woman is gonna react in his head. He's gonna say something along the lines of, she wouldn't even believe it. She'd think it's a fake screenshot. She'd be like, oh my God. In the prospect's mind, they're reliving that exact situation and they're forced to think about it. That's why this is so powerful. Next concept is gonna be the cost of inaction. And what they teach you to do is to create fear within the prospect or make them feel the pain. It feels manipulative as the closer because honestly, it just is. And the good news is you don't need to be manipulative and feel like shit as a closer. This is what I like to do instead, and it works a lot better. Step number 1, get the prospect to verbalize that they're not currently satisfied with where they're currently at. And to go one layer deeper, if you could figure out how they would feel if knowing that they could have made a change, knowing that they could have had X, Y, and Z outcome that we talked about in the goals, but they decided not to make a change and they were stuck. How would that make them feel? That's gonna do all the heavy lifting for you. Next concept is objection handling, and what they teach you to do is memorize rebuttals. When they say X, you say Y line. And the biggest reason this stuff doesn't work is because you're handling what the prospect is saying, not what they mean. And you might be wondering, Pranav, isn't that the same thing? No. Humans are very emotional, and what they say is not what they always mean. This is why you're gonna waste time handling smokescreen objections when that's not even the real concern and the prospect hasn't mentioned that to you. This is my 2 cents on objection handling. Should you learn how to handle every objection 5 ways? 100%. As a closer, you need to know how to handle objections, and you can never freeze up. If you leave handling the most prominent objection till the very end of the call, you're shooting yourself in the foot. The best closers know 15 minutes into a sales call what the main objection is gonna be. This is 100 times more powerful than waiting till the very end. So whether it's money, whether it's fear, whether it's time, whatever it may be, the best closers use relevant analogies to pre-handle the objection and then tie it down as well. For example, time. The way that you'd pre-handle it would be saying something like this. And Daniel, I mean, we all know that one guy who says he's gonna start the gym next week, but does he ever really start? Then you can ask them, how has this sort of mindset really held you back as far as your goals with X, Y, and Z? Now, after this, very simple, you hit them with a binary decision. Which type of person are you gonna commit to being today? The type of person who keeps waiting for the perfect time or makes excuses about not having the right time? Or being the type of person who accepts that the perfect time doesn't exist and actually takes action? One mistake you never want to make is never reward the prospect for giving you an objection. I see some people saying, yeah, I totally get it, man. I'd 100% talk to my wife. You'd be smart for talking to your wife. I talk to my wife all the time. You don't need to affirm that behavior that much. I always say something simple to acknowledge it. Yeah, I hear you, man. I get it. If I was in your shoes, I'd probably do the same thing. You want to acknowledge it, and then you want to neutralize it, and then you want to figure out if what we went over today can actually help them out with reaching X, Y, and Z goals. If they say yes, now ask them why. Now they're going to sell to you why they feel like the program would work for them. Now you gain a little bit of commitments based off of time, putting in the work, showing up. You dig a little bit deeper and find out what the real objection is, because think about it, and stall and partner is usually a smokescreen. And one more thing, I've created a free objection handling Miro board that covers each and every possible objection that you're ever gonna face on a sales call. If you want access to that, DM me the word objection on Instagram and I'll shoot that over to you. Last concept, and this is gonna be the close. Honestly, once you get to the close, it's meant to be the easiest part. If you've built a lot of value around the product and the prospect already knows that they can't stay where they're at and they actually want to make a change in their life, there's no reason they would say no or give a real objection. The whole sales process comes down to two things. It's gonna be understanding people as well as building trust. But here's what most people miss. Knowing this information and then actually applying it on real calls is two different things. You may study, take notes, and learn a bunch of information, but when you jump on a call and a prospect hits you with something unexpected, you blank out and you freeze out. And it's very easy in those moments to fall back into old habits. This is why you need someone to hold you accountable and make sure that you implement this information. I don't really believe in courses because at the end of the day, it takes more than just information to really see success and really learn a skill. I work with all of my mentees personally. This way you can actually go out there and see the results that you want. So if you want to get to the next level in sales, or you're just getting started and want to work with someone who actually cares about your results and your life, feel free to click the link in the description to apply and see if it's a good fit for us to work together.